Hello, everybody, and welcome to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, the trilogy. This is actually the first time I'm ever playing the trilogy version with like the updated art. I've only ever played the original DS versions, uh, which had pixel art. These games might have. I don't think it has pixel art. I think everything is like drawn now. Yeah, doesn't look like pixel art anymore. But anyway, first time playing this version, but I have played these games before. It has been forever, though. So we'll see. Yeah. Yeah. Damn it. Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Whew. Glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. This is a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kinda owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. Fucking... God, he's such a miserable fuck, isn't he? Hang on. I don't know a good voice for him. Oh, it's over. My life, everything is all over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Ugh. Nick. Hey. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell him I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me who took my baby away. Person responsible for your girlfriend's death. The newspapers say it was you. I don't like that voice, but I don't know what fucking voice to give him. He's just such a miserable man. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. The first case is a fairly simple one. Simple. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. School had a saying, something smells, usually the butt. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one. which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. August 3rd, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. Maybe I should hold my nose for him. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Mm-hmm. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Gulp. Hand shaking. Eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. The defendant is me, right? Right. Have you completely lost your mind? Focus. The defendant is the person on trial. You're his lawyer. Oh, yeah, right. This is no laughing matter. You did pass the bar, didn't you? Sorry, I couldn't hear your answer. I'll ask one more time. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. The, defendant? That's, Mia Fey? Wrong, right? Look, I have to leave. I have to go home. I'm expecting a delivery. Aw, come on, Chief. There's no need to be going so soon, is there? Listen, Wright. The defendant is the one on trial, your client. I mean, that's about as basic as you can get. Put my foot in it this time. I've got to relax. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Please turn in your badge. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me what's the victim's name? Ooh, I know this one, but I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh. No way, I forgot? I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name. Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab. Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim of this case? Cinder block. No one would believe I was defense attorney if I didn't carry this. It's rough. Time of death, July 31st, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. Mia Fey, chief attorney at Fey & Co., my boss, and a very good defense attorney. Larry Butts, the defendant in this case, a likable guy who has been my friend since grade school. The victim in this case, a model. She lived in an apartment by herself. Cindy Stone. Winston Payne. The prosecutor for this case lacks presence, generally bad at getting his points across. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now, tell me what was the cause of death. She died because she was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why you shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was the statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor, next to the victim. I see. Court accepts it into evidence. Statue in the shape of the Thinker. It's rather heavy. Right? Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Statue in the shape of the Thinker. It's rather heavy. That's all we got. Da-da-da-da. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. Prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. Could be bad. Yeah, him. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls. Or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you, anyway? Mr. Butts, what you described is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you, and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. Oh, what do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it is lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. Indeed. She appears to return the day before the murder. Dude, no way. Victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who give her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude. We can clearly see what kind of a woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I... My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Nick, what do you mean, irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes. Wright. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. Oh, he went. What do I do? I know. I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order. Well, Mr. Botts? Dude, chill. He wasn't home, man, so, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Given that objection... Sounds like a man whose voice is constantly cracking. Your Honor! Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who's your witness? The man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery. I don't think I like this voice. I'm not sure. Like a very screechy objection. Objection. Your Honor. Your Honor. Ow. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of a crime. Order. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawett to the stand. Mr. Sawett, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh, yes. Newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawett, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there. The woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawett used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor. All right, Wright. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court records, then point out contradictions in the testimony. I was going door to door, selling description. Yes, I can press. Can I just... Yeah. Isn't a man leaving an apartment a common sight? I find it odd you would take notice of him. I don't know. He just seemed strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad, and yet frightened at the same time. Just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime. The defense requests that the witness refrain from conjecture.
Of course! What the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So, what happened next?
I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Half open, you say?
Yes, the door was open halfway, yes.
I watched for a moment, but no one came to close the door. That's odd, in a big city like this, I thought.
I see. What happened next?
Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. What gave you the idea to do that?
Well, the door was half open, you see. Isn't it only human to want to peek?
We climb mountains because they are there. It's the same thing.
Truer words have never been spoken. Anyone would look inside.
Why did Payne cut him off so quickly?
So, you looked into the apartment. What happened next?
And I saw her lying there. A woman. Not moving. Dead. Are you sure she was dead?
Well, no, I guess I wasn't. But she wasn't moving at all. There was blood everywhere.
I guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well. What happened next?
I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside.
So, you didn't touch anything in the apartment?
Yes. I mean, no, nothing.
Okay, what happened next?
I thought to call the police immediately.
You thought to call the police? Does that mean you didn't actually call them?
Please, listen to the rest of the testimony. You thought to call the police. What happened next?
However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. The phone in her apartment wasn't working.
I mean, no, it wasn't. Right.
But you said you didn't go into the apartment. Or did you?
Oh, that. I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on a shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call. And the phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next?
I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. Why use a public phone?
Well, you see, I don't have a cell phone. And being the middle of the afternoon, there was no answer at the nearby apartments.
Ah, right. What time did you call again?
I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Are you certain?
Yes, absolutely.
He seems really confident. 1 p.m.? Right. Doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence to contradict him. Where... the autopsy. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure?
Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain.
Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap?
This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time.
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Solid, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.?
Gee, that's a really good question.
Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart.
Wait, I remember now.
Would you care to give your testimony again? think the judge ever gets tired of having the same witness redo their testimony like 13 times. Time of discovery.
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding.
I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a tape program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Right. You know what to do.
I've got this one.
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time.
You said heard, not saw.
Yes, heard. All I saw was the body lying there. I didn't think to look at anything else. Least of all my watch.
Isn't that a little strange? So you're saying you heard something? But if you were so shocked by the body, you wouldn't hear anything at all.
The witness did say he actually heard the time. It's ludicrous to suggest he wouldn't hear anything.
I have to agree with the prosecution. Witness, continue your testimony.
There was the voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television.
Are you sure it was a television and not a radio?
Well, no, I guess it might have been a radio. Incidentally, there was no radio on the premises. There was only one large television.
Right.
I can't put my finger on it, but something about this seems fishy. Something about hearing the television. The witnesses testified that he heard the time.
Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? How do you explain the gap? Well, witness, can you explain this?
I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program.
Video?
Yes, that would explain why the time was wrong.
True. Right. I think the problem lies someplace else. We're agreed that you heard the time at the scene, then.
That's why I thought it was 1 p.m.
Are you sure the voice you heard said it was 1 p.m.?
Yes, I can practically hear it now. It was quite clear.
Mr. Payne, has the prosecution verified this testimony?
My apologies, Your Honor. I too have only just learned about that the witness heard the time. I'm really sorry. I only remembered it just now. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding.
Well, you should be.
Well, you just watch it.
Not much point pressing him on that one, was there? Hold it right there. The prosecution has said that there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Well, the defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit?
No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait. I remember now.
Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. And you seem rather distraught.
My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body.
Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Hearing the time.
Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw.
You saw a clock. I guess I would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly.
Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it.
It strikes me as a very suspicious mistake.
Yes, I can see how you'd be a little doubtful.
I'm really sorry. I only just remembered that table clock. A table clock?
There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there?
A table clock? Was there a clock at the scene? This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim.
The murder weapon?
Yes, the table clock that was used as a weapon. That's what I just said. Did you doze off in the middle of my testimony or something?
Something's fishy here.
That must have been what I saw.
Why didn't you tell us that in the first place?
I guess it just slipped my mind. I'm not really sure how it happened myself. The witness says he saw the table clock. End of story.
Now, find the contradiction. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was the statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock?
What? You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit.
Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Payne?
As the witness stated, the statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. I apologize.
But the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Your Honor, there's a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hands. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly, a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he... You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there.
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with a clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. It looks like he has a blockhead. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What is the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? I assure you, it's quite big. I can't wait for that game. Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock?
No, that day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw. I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Burn! Give him death.
Order. Order in the court, I say.
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright. Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. Better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawit heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. Certainly a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. We've been in here for almost an hour and a half?
Not really, but I'm just thinking about this court.
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death.
So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one.
You forgot one thing.
Uh-oh. What's he talking about now?
Well, it may seem like this clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case.
He's right. How am I supposed to prove that? Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit.
I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happened. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime.
Yeah, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Not so fast, Mr. Sawit. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. That doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow, and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof. Right? Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it, and let him have it.
Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim?
Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off.
See this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Victim apparently arrived home from Paris.
The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow. It was 9 hours fast.
The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you? Mr. Saw it? Or should I say, Mr. Did it? Damn, someone get him the rabies vaccine. Order! Order, I say! Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness.
He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts. And with that, this court is adjourned. Turns out that Frank Saw It was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when houses were out of the house. When people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Saw It let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Saw It grabbed the nearest blood object he could find. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Still can't believe we won.
Right. Good job in there. Congratulations.
Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you.
Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note.
I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, I imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now?
Oh, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon.
Good. Wait, no, I mean bad. Bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed.
But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever.
Larry, she was a... Never mind.
Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat. Oh, no, I couldn't.
Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook.
Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. That just make you want to cry?
Larry.
Are you so sure?
Squeeze me. I hate you. I hate you.
I think she thought quite a lot of you. In her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever. She probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, think of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right. I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him? Yeah. Part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. The end. A brand new episode has been added. Save progress, yes. Going straight into episode 2. Silence. Oh, thank you. I didn't... Okay. So yeah, Phoenix Wright. I like Phoenix Wright a lot, the series. I haven't played all of them. I got all the way to Dual Destinies and then stopped. So yeah. That I know how most of the cases go, but I don't remember uh how the logic pieces together. So it I do know like how certain things go, at least for the most part. There is one case that I don't remember like at all, which is going to be fun. It's part of this game. We'll get to it. Uh Honestly, the further the cases go, the more hazy it gets because the cases get really, really complex in how things turn out. It's interesting. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Originally, I was going to do like my initial thought process was, I'll do one case, one turnabout per video. But some of these turnabouts last forever. At the very least, for the original Phoenix Wright, I think doing it where it's one video per investigation and trial would make sense, I think. Or maybe even splitting up the investigation and the trial. It depends. It would depend on the game as well, because this first game, it can feel long, but I don't think this first game is actually that long. So combining the investigation and trial together as like one day would make sense. But later games, the investigations get really long and the cases get really long. So sometimes it's better to just stop.
Also, the very last case of this game can get real long. But anyway, that's completely different. That is beside the point. Doesn't matter. Now, that is the end of Phoenix Wright, and we'll come back with, what was it, Turnabout Sisters? Yes, I think the second case is Turnabout Sisters. Thank you all for watching, especially if you got this far, and stick around, because there's a lot more to come.